Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, and shalom to the elect of Israel. This is the Mayim in Atlanta, and I found this RT News article that I thought was interesting. It says, white Americans could flee to Siberia, top Russian MP. And Siberia is northeast Russia, a very large expanse. It's really most of Russia, but it's to the northeast, very cold. And according to the ultranationalist leader of Russia's LDPR party, tensions could cause a new mass migration. And I thought this was interesting because it shows the ties between the Edomite Russians who are occupying the land of Gog and Magog and the American Edomites that are here. It shows they're that they're the same people. They're trying to help each other, even though prophecy says that Russia will fire ICBMs onto the U.S., which is Babylon. So supposed interethnic conflicts in the U.S. could force millions of so-called white Americans to request that Russia resettle them across the vast and snowy expanses of Siberia, one of the country's most notorious nationalists has claimed. Taking to his Telegram channel on Tuesday, the leader of the ultra-nationalist LDPR party, Vladimir Zhirinovsky, well known for his populist views and confrontational political style, alleged that America is in dire straits. And that's true. America is in dire straits. According to him, the U.S. has already taken a series of steps along the path of self-decay. And that's true also. Similar to what happened in the former USSR, a superstate that comprised 15 republics and was home to an array of ethnic groups. We in the Soviet Union for 70 years fed the national fringes of the country at the expense of the Russians, he said in a fierce diatribe against multiculturalism. And that's Esau's the one who's always pushed this multiculturalism since they took control of Greece. Let me get a scripture on that to prove it, because that's what they push as long as they're on the top. First Maccabees 1:41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. That's multiculturalism. And everyone should leave his laws, so all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. And let's say they leave their laws and go under the backwards laws of the Edomites. It says, continuing on in the article, and in 1991, when they made a fuss and started shouting that they were leaving the USSR, the Russians didn't come out to defend the country, simply because they didn't understand that it was their land. According to the 75-year-old political veteran, an almost identical scenario is now unfolding in the U.S. There are no national fringes there, which I think sounds funny because the Israelites here in Babylon were a nation that wears fringes, but never mind that. But there are African Americans, which are Israelites, Mexicans, which are Israelites, non-whites in general, who are already dictating their will, and whites are, or self-proclaimed whites, are increasingly forbidden to talk about their rights, because that's what you did to everyone else, Esau. And says their culture, their history. And that's because you stole cultures and you stole history and changed history. And so, yeah, you shouldn't be speaking at all because it's nothing but lies. And it shows, that statement right there shows that the curses are beginning to fall upon the Edomites. It says in Deuteronomy 30:7, paraphrasing, that these curses would fall on our enemies and on them that hate us. And that's the Edomites, as well as the other nations, according to Psalms 83. Zhirinovsky went on to declare that in 10 years, self-proclaimed white people will become the minority and will be evacuated to nearby Canada, as well as Australia and other parts of the world which the Edomites took over. They might even ask us to settle a few million people somewhere in Siberia, he speculated. Polls show that LDPR party leader is by some distance the most popular political figure in Russia outside of the government. The politician predicted that America will fall because the new majority, which will be, or nobody will live here in Babylon, but the new majority after the fall of Babylon will be the Israelites, and we're the majority currently when you consider all the tribes and the scattered. Will not be able to maintain the same high level of technological development, economy, life, democracy, and so on. And our kingdom is going to far surpass and outshine your kingdom, your decrepit kingdom, your queendom. However, many scholars have pointed out that the U.S. has always been a multicultural nation from the point of its inception, while civil rights activists argue that the country has a duty to the descendants of those kidnapped from Africa and forced into slavery across the ocean, as in the Israelites that you had in slavery and still have in slavery to this day. Siberia covers almost 10 million square kilometers of the territory belonging to the world's largest country, but is sparsely populated, while most of its residents are Russians, followed by Ukrainians, Tatars, and other nationalities from the former Soviet Union. There are 40 or so indigenous ethnic groups in Siberia, the Far East, and Arctic. And if Esau went out there, he would destroy those indigenous ethnic groups as well. In 2015, Zhirinovsky proposed repopulating the vast region by sending people convicted for petty crimes to prison settlements in Siberia. We have great wide spaces there. People would go there, they would work there, and they would take their families with them. This is all for common good, for the development of the new territories, the politician suggested. And this article just shows that Esau sees his end. He sees that he can't keep running the show like he has been and, taking and stealing, and he sees his days are numbered. Let's start out with Job 14:5. Seeing his days are determined, and he sees that. Zhirinovsky sees it, and I'm sure the American Edomites see it. The number of his months are with thee. That's the Most High, Yahweh. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. And Esau has a specific time in which his kingdom will end, because the earth cannot sustain his rulership for much longer. All flesh would be destroyed. Let's go to Job 18:10. The snare is laid for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way. Terrors shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet. His strength shall be hunger bitten, and destruction shall be ready at his side. It shall devour the strength of his skin, even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength. Firstborn of death being Yahushai. And you can tell Esau is afraid. He sees his days are numbered, and there's nothing good waiting for him, because he's been an unrighteous ruler, and he's mistreated everyone, especially the the Israelites. Salakia. Go to Jeremiah 16 and 16. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord Yahweh, and they shall fish them. And these are the men you see out on the highways and byways, pushing the word, fishing for the elect of Israel. And after, I will send for many hunters. So Lord willing, I'm one of those hunters. But the Lord's going to change those fishermen into hunters. And they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks. So there's nowhere that the Edomites will be able to hide, even in Siberia or Australia or Canada or wherever they want to hide. You can't. Verse 17, for my eyes are upon all their ways. They are not hid from my face, neither is their iniquity hid from mine eyes. Because the Lord sees everything. His eyes are brighter than 10,000 sun. Salakia. Let's move on from that. 18. And first I will recompense their iniquity and their sin double, because they have defiled my land, as in the land of Israel. They have filled mine inheritance with the carcasses of their detestable and abominable things. And that's his inheritance is Israel, the Israelites, the people. And they've tricked the Israelites into eating pig and all sorts of shellfish and shrimp and lobster and all the way to the mouse, just like in I think it's Isaiah 66. O Lord Yahweh, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the day of affliction, the Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. Verse 20, shall a man make gods unto himself, and they are no gods? White Jesus. Verse 21, therefore, behold, I will this once cause them to know. I will cause them to know mine hand and my might, and they shall know that my name is the Lord Yahweh. And those Edomites have nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. They have to pay for their crimes. And the Lord is going to turn his men, at least some of his men, into hunters to pull them out of wherever they can hide. And with that, I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, and shalom to the elect of Israel.